to episode 14 of the Full-Time Banter Show. This is the FPL section. This is going to be the only section this week with it being an international break. We're just going to have a bit of a game week 8 review. My name's Tariq.
I'm Riz.
And no Liam. No Liam again this week. Well, not again, but he's off. He's been partying a bit too hard, I think.
He has.
On the weekend, he went to a festival. God knows where. I think it was up in Scarborough somewhere.
Yeah.
Some Butlins, Butlins resort where he's gone to have a look at some heavy metal rock bands and stuff, and I think partying a bit too hard.
Tell you what, the lad's got some money then if it's Butlins, because that don't come cheap anymore.
No, I think it's a former Butlins site or something. But yeah, it's still recovering, so just me and Riz here this week, going through what's happened so far. I'm going to let you rattle through our top 10 of the Full-Time Banter League this week.
So there's no accents, no voiceovers or anything. Liam's not here, so forgive me if I can't impress you with his personations, etc. So as number 10 we've got Downtown, which is Daniel Shaw. Nice score game week there, 89 points, 525. We've got Sebi, our mate Simi, 64 points, 527 overall in 9th place. Tiny Terriers, Jack Kendall, Jack
up into
fortunately you couldn't make it last week I believe when I wasn't here, so get you back on again Jack, but you're doing well, 76 points, 534 there. We've got Bill City FC, Billy Mottram, 76 points, 535 in 7th. We've got Jarud Sandstone, Evius is it? Avius in 6th place, 96 points, fantastic game week there, 538 overall. Mr. Nazir's back in the top 5 now, yeah. So we've got False Name with Tariq Nazir, 80 points overall, 541 in the league. So we've got Show Me the Money, Chris Hay, 62, 544 overall in 4th place. Joe Gallagher, Triple X, 64 points, 511 overall in 3rd place. Adam Omar seems to be sticking at number 2 at the moment with Metamorphosis, is it?
Metamorphosis plus.
58 for the game we've just gone and 552. But the big news, and the big news continues to grow his lead, is our mate Santosh Kanake with Gunning San, 86 points for the game we've just gone and 600 point barrier breakthrough. So 601 overall and still pushing that lead.
Good stuff. Well done. Santosh Kanake. It's interesting to say, obviously, top 4 no movement. Top 4 as they are, so the rest of us are haggling to get in there, and it's actually good because I was looking at Gunning Santosh's team, doing fantastically well, and I'm glad he's in our league because it's something to aim to, getting close to him, because I'm 60 points off him, so any progress I can get towards him, because his overall rank is, have a guess what it might be possibly.
About top 10,000.
Better than that.
Top 5?
Better than that.
Top 2?
Better than that.
Seriously?
He is.
Wow, I'm not even at Loudness.
Last time I checked, I don't think he'll have moved much in the rankings. I'm sure I checked it after all the points had been updated.
Okay.
166th. 166th
well done,
in the
mate.
world. Yeah, so fantastic going. So, like I say, fantastic to have him in the league. Something for us to aim at. Because at the moment the points are still quite condensed. So any advancement you can make in your points is a big green arrow.
Yeah, definitely. It's looking good. It's positive. We need the green arrows. Most of us talk about the green arrows, and that's something to aim for. Yes.
So
really well done there.
Well done, Santosh Kanake, and well done to Jack as well, breaking into the top 10. I remember I saying last week he was just out by a point. This week he's got in there.
Yeah.
And myself, decent week this week, but. Let's move on to our usual lowest point scorers, and this week there were 2. I'll give you the first one.
Nice.
Oh, Gemma Greenwood with Silver Lining. Hey ho, Silver Lining, as in David Silver.
The storm is on its way. There is no silver lining there, Gemma.
I'm not sure if this is Gemma from our Failsworth League, formerly of AFC Clayton, now of Failsworth Phoenix.
Yeah, could be.
It'd be nice if it is.
Could be.
But she is currently lying 82nd in our league out of 108, 106.
107, yeah.
And she's on 394 points total, not too bad. Only got 26 points this week, which hurt because, bizarrely, she's got Salah, and she's got Mane, and she's got Aguero, but no Hazard and no Kane, but that's no bad thing. But Hazard was the big differential this week.
Yeah,
and she decided to captain Bernardo Silva for some reason. I mean, I hope maybe a City allegiance is showing out there. So 26 points, very poor showing there, Gemma. Hopefully a better week. And not to panic though, not to panic. Yeah, Rizu's our other.
Yeah, we've got the other one. We've got Earth, Wind and Maguire, a name that we picked at the start of the season to say which is one of our favourite names. Guy Sarfaz, currently sitting 99th with 346 points overall, and he's kind of gone down the similar route as Gemma there with picking an obscure captain, I would say, because he's gone for Neves. I mean, obviously there's only 2 points difference between the two, but even then, when you've got Salah in your team, you've got Mane, you got Zaha, you got Kane. I mean, obviously Kane didn't do much against Cardiff, but you've got big players like that, and you're putting it on Neves. So
well, strange that he's got Kane, and he's put it on Neves, like you say.
Well, maybe again, it's people looking at the differentials. But I think the biggest thing that I've noticed for both of these is they've both got pretty shocking defences.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
with the exception of possibly with what Liam says, he goes for the double up on Palace. But Palace at the moment, we'll talk about them a bit more, but they've not really done nothing, so that's really let them down.
Yeah, it has, definitely. 26 points, pretty shocking, but half the average essentially. Yeah. The average being 50. Moving on to the highest scorer of the week then, that was Giroud Sandstorm. That was one of Liam's picks for his favourite names.
He likes Giroud, doesn't he?
Giroud Sandstorm. The team, the player being Avius, which I think is a bit of a moniker as well.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty cool one, I like that. And he's currently sitting now, he broke into the top 10 with that highest score of 96. He's in at 6th. With an overall score of 538, so literally
on your coattail, mate. On your coattail,
catching up. So we'll have to see if he can keep it up. And again, he cashed in on the defence, doing really well, similar to myself. Defence and goalkeepers, Captain Hazard, like we said, that's been the difference there. Those are the notable things that he's got Salah and Aguero.
Wilson up front as well, the so
Wilson, good
there, so good shot there as well.
Wilson and Fraser kept saying on Saturday, it was funny on Twitter, forgot to mention actually while you're at it, follow us on @fulltime Banter 7, and please make sure you like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel as well, keep up to date on all the stuff we're putting up. But Twitter was funny during the Portsmouth match on Saturday.
Bournemouth,
why do I keep on Portsmouth? Got a thing for
you want to return for Pompey?
Yes, Harry. Yeah.
I'll just bring back all his old players. Nico Sancha, remember that?
Jermaine Defoe, Peter Crouch,
Karud,
Patrick Berger. But saying Bournemouth winning 4-0, and every goal that kept going in, people are tweeting another Bournemouth goal, no Fraser assist. No Fraser until the 4th one eventually, which was good news.
Eventually.
Moving on to ours then, I'll quickly run through mine. As I say, I got 80 points, which was I was extremely happy with. I didn't go for Kane, as detailed in the reasons we gave last week. There was no reason to go for Kane, and it was a bit of a gamble. And if you took him, that was the thing. If you got Kane in, you had to captain him then, and that was a downfall for a lot. So there's going to be bad weeks, Kane tends to do that. He did that last year with the double game weeks, didn't he?
Yeah, that's it. Kane's been inconsistent anyway this season so far, so it's just...
Yeah, so I'm glad I didn't get him in.
Yeah.
The only transfer I did was I took Aguero out for Vardy, and that was partly because I did think Vardy would get some points against Everton. He didn't, he only got the 2, but the big reason was I didn't want to be gunning for Aguero to score against Liverpool. So in the City-Liverpool game. So he was out, and Captain Hazard came to the rescue, and my whole defence, apart from the goalkeepers, absolutely brought home. Brought it home, and Doherty getting that goal right at the end, fantastic.
Yeah, really good though. Clean sheet.
Big asset. So I'm up 3 places to 5th, 541 points overall. Good big green arrows. 37,000, moving up to 25k overall in the world, which I'm absolutely made up about.
He's chuffed. He's
absolutely mental. Never been anywhere close before. It's like the best start to the season ever. Hopefully it stays and I don't start dropping. 25k. Give us yours, Riz, and then we'll do Liam's.
Yeah, I mean, last week obviously I didn't do my team anyway because I was too busy doing other stuff. So they're right, my nephew did do it for me, and I don't know why he stuck it on Mitrovic, but that was that. But this week I went for 3 subs, made 3 transfers in. I had to get rid of Aspilicueta. I couldn't justify having Alonso and Aspilicueta there, so I bought in Doherty for that. I then got rid of Willian and Bernardo Silva, purely because they were average buys and I wanted to get Hazard in, so I got Hazard in there, which paid off. The -4 points, well recovered by both Hazard and Doherty there. And the other player that I bought in regards to this team, where's he done now? Can't actually see him. Can't remember where the other one is.
Richarlison?
No, I had Richarlison already. Moutinho
Okay,
from Wolves, yes. No, I actually started him, I started him. I was under the impression that both City and Liverpool would score. I never, for one reason, thought that either of them would have a clean sheet. Hence, when we discuss about benching your premium assets, for that game week I benched both Mendy and Robertson.
Shocking.
But the mistake I think I made is Jimenez. I've been putting the poor lad on the bench a few times, still not learning my lesson and in getting points. He got 5 points, obviously did better than Zaha and Moutinho. But 75 points overall, up 10 places to 33rd in our full-time Banter League. 467 points, up 288k to 529 overall. So progress in the right direction, and it's just a case of if I take it seriously, I probably can get somewhere. But
you should do really.
I try. Well, sometimes you know what it is. It's just I'm busy. I've got loads going on, and it's just a case of. And I'm always been like this as well. I just kind of like hand it over to my nephew and say, "Listen, go try your hand at it."
Stop. Because I mean, Liam's letting the side down. I don't think we're going to win the bet against Miguel. He won't be taking us out anytime soon. Because Liam had a bit of a shocking week again. Because I think he was thinking of minds elsewhere about his festival he was going to, and he just made a quick transfer. He is down 9 places to 54th now. To out of the top 50. Wow. 431 points overall, down a massive 490,000 to 1.3 million. So first time outside the top 1 million players overall. So Liam, not good going. 36 points. His Palace double up didn't pay off. He's still got Pickford. Why the heck do you still? And Ryan sitting with 9 points on the bench. Mendy third on the bench. Absolutely shocking.
I'm surprised he went against his gut in not playing the wild card.
Because he kept talking about that.
Absolutely.
I think possibly the thought of, because he did mention it later, he texted me the thought of not getting Kane in prevented him activating his wild card, which is fair enough. So he's still going, fair enough. So I suppose that's an advantage there, that's a plus there, still got his wild card, but really needs to
pull his finger out, yes. Liam.
Okay, so that's that section done. We're going to move on to the main section of the talking points next. I almost forgot, Laura's, before we carry on with these points, the reason I'm wearing the fantastic Liverpool shirt today.
I did notice, and I did feel like spitting on it.
Did mention briefly the reason why we had the little forfeit. I'm going to explain in a bit more detail. Basically, what we do between ourselves, Riz is still a grassroots football coach. I used to be, and our team of coaches. Once we started playing Fantasy League, we set up our own league, and then to add a bit of extra spice, we had a little forfeit in the league. So basically, out of all us coaches and friends, the guy who finished last would take everybody else out for a meal. It's become a bit of a tradition now. Last year it was Sajid Iqbal, who you get to know well, or you hopefully you already have from the previous video, but he's a Manchester United fan. This year it was another Manchester United fan, so they're very generous, these Manchester United fans. Amir Muawiyah had an absolutely awful season, a bit like myself last season, but I managed to escape his clutches. So Amir ended up footing the bill this year for the Fantasy League meal, and it's taken him this long. Since May we've been waiting, basically, and it happened on Saturday. It took us out for a very lavish, very extravagant, very expensive meal at a very nice restaurant, who are following us on Twitter now. So thank you, Bahara. Hopefully we'll get some free sponsorship off them. The current restaurant is in Salisbury. But aside from that, aside from Amir paying for the meal, Sajid Iqbal had a little wager again with me because he was doing well. He wasn't going to win the league, and I was struggling. And he saw his opportunity, didn't he? Yeah. So we had a little head-to-head roundabout from midway point, roundabout Christmas, New Year. It was 18 games.
18 games left. 18 games.
We said, the best of 10 we hoped for. And I was losing 6-0. I've got to be honest, like I say, I was having a terrible season, absolutely awful, chasing the points. Ended up 6-0 down in our head-to-head against Saj. But then that's when I really started studying FPL, got into it, started following the likes of Andy on Let's Talk FPL, Jagersdorf, Ben Krellin, Ben Dinnery for his injury news, and I discovered after that the likes of Hill Cheaters always cheating. So did my research, got my info, and from 6-0 down I came back to draw it 9-all and win it on a tiebreak on points. So because of that, the forfeit was the loser would wear the opposition shirt and make a nice little speech, which Saj duly did, although he tried his best to worm out of it.
Disgrace.
And the other United fans did try to help him get out of it as well, but no, it wasn't happening. So if you haven't seen that, I'll put a little quick clip up somewhere in this video, just give you a teaser, but otherwise go back to the video just before this one. It says Saj's forfeit is called, and you can get the full video in all its glory, from him donning the shirt to making the speech and finally finishing with kissing the badge.
I, Sajid Iqbal, would like to say that I have been incredibly ignorant in supporting the filth that is Manchester United football for so long, for so many ignorant years. And not only that, for also leading my sons astray too.
Hang on, I thought you guys can't speak.
Ashamed. But now, I would like to clearly state that Liverpool is the greatest team in Liverpool. Is the greatest team in England, if not Europe, by winning the Champions League too. And I apologise profusely to the countless innocent people I have upset by being a filthy Red Devil supporter. But alhamdulillah, I have seen the light, and I hope you can forgive me for my stupidity.
Welcome.
You will never walk alone, hashtag champions of Europe,
Wayne.
hashtag great Muslim ambassadors, and hashtag bright future.
Well done.
And finally,
It's got to be done.
Kiss the badge. Anyway, well done. Yes, thank you guys. This is full-time banter. Yes, the profit. What we're doing next year.
Which is absolutely disgusting. I would have kissed the badge, I would have wiped my backside with it. But anyway, on another note, side note, no, because I'll just rip that shirt off, mate. So on a side note, obviously like, share and subscribe to the YouTube channel, but also share the hell out of this video now, because Saj has obviously let himself down and being a Man United fan. I don't even know how.
It's part of the family now.
I don't even know how he can come back from it. There is.
He was supposed to be on here tonight, and he's bottled it. He's busy.
No,
apparently he's busy tonight.
I'm not surprised, but
after agreeing to come on.
Yeah. So just go out there, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and obviously at full-time Banter 7, give us your shout-outs, and try following us a bit more and spread the love, because that's what we want now. Hopefully join the FPL community as well.
Yeah, it's good fun.
We'll take it from there.
Yeah, so Saja, I'm thinking whether his wife said, listen, you're not going on and you're not committing to another forfeit on video. I think that's what it is.
I think Saj's mouth goes into overdrive before his brain.
2 years in a row now.
So never mind that, but I think Amir's on a snowball effect as well, because he's bottom from all the coaches, so he might be paying for another meal.
Amir's making a habit of it.
He is. Well, consistency is key.
That's what he keeps saying.
Now, there's another player we want to talk about. Consistency is key.
Yeah.
And that's Mr. Kane.
Harold.
Spurs.
Sir Harold of Kane.
Sir Harold of Kane. Sir Harold of Tottenham Hotspurs. Tottenham,
yeah.
Tottenham. So take it away then, eh? Why do you think he's Kane flopped possibly?
He flopped because of all the reasons we gave you in episode 13. We said not to get Kane in because A, he's still not looking 100% sharp himself. even though some people said, oh, he scored 2 against Barcelona, or he scored 1 against Barcelona, he must be, he's back onto it. Number 2, the players around him.
Eriksen was out as well for that game. He's not.
You know, they've got no playmaker. What was evident about that match in Cardiff was how deep he was dropping again into midfield, and he's done it prior as well, where Lucas Moura, his heat map, his touches are ahead of Kane. Kane's dropping that deep, trying to almost play the playmaker and create chances. Just didn't work. So, you know, those reasons was, and Spurs, even with Eriksen in the team and stuff like that, they weren't really firing.
They were firing. I think once they have Eriksen back as well as Son, Ali and Kane, I think that's when the formidable four become.
Son, he's not hit his stride yet either.
He's only just come back from the Asian games, isn't he? So
Kane, I mean, we'll talk a little bit about form teams and stuff later on. Spurs, stay away, I think. Yeah, and
pricey Kane, isn't it?
Yeah,
so,
most expensive striker, and to get him in, most people got him in on a hit, and then had to captain him. You know, I've no sympathy if you'd just listened to us. If you'd have just listened.
You took a hit and you only got 2 points after captaining him, so...
shocking, yeah.
Shocking.
So, Kane, I don't think, you know...
They pay off. Well, you never know, he might prove us wrong next game. I hope he doesn't go bangs in a hat-trick or something. But
well, I mean, you've got to look at the results they've got, where the likes of City have absolutely hammered Cardiff. They did the same to Huddersfield. Who was it? Chelsea battered Huddersfield.
City did as well, 6-1.
Yeah. And Spurs are only managing 2-0.
Yeah, sorry Jack, you know, obviously
2-0 and 1-0. Yeah, so you can't beat Huddersfield, you are pretty bad, pretty poor. Moving on then to the City and Liverpool game, which saw some interesting decisions being made in FPL, one of which you committed to.
Yeah, I mean, I was already committed to not having Mendy in because purely I didn't know whether he was going to start. There was all the talk about him having a bit of a falling out with Guardiola, or whether
discipline issues.
Yeah, exactly. So whether Guardiola was going to start him in that game or not. So I thought, you know what, he's been injured. He's been on my bench for a bit. I've kept him. I've not sold him like most FPL managers anyway. And then last minute, very very last minute, purely before deadline, I thought, you know what, I got Alisson and I got Robertson, and if they concede, then basically both of them are gonna have a bit of a low one. But you know what, it's not too bad because, like I said, I made the change. It's only cost me overall 4 points because I changed it for Zaha, because I initially went with the one striker with Mitrovic.
Right.
I wasn't even looking at Zaha, knowing that I dread that Palace hadn't scored at home for like so many games, and it's becoming a bit of a tradition there now. So I thought, leave him out, and then last minute I thought, you know what, he made just, and I thought, if City do score, which I thought they would, and I thought Liverpool would as well, then 2 points to an attacker, 2 points to a defender. I'd rather go for Zaha if he does score. 5 points potentially that way. So obviously it didn't quite work out, but happy with the overall game week. But having both of them on the bench, you generally wouldn't. I would have started with both.
I don't know if you were here for that episode, because we talked about this, saying that really it's a win-win situation, because you shouldn't be benching premium assets. They're your most expensive players. Even in the case of Mendy, fair enough, you bring him on. If he doesn't play,
you get auto sub on.
You get auto sub.
You get auto sub on that.
You definitely don't put third on your bench, Riz.
No, he was already there as an injury. But like I said, I got Jimenez as well, so Jimenez has not really let me down. Even if Jimenez came on, gone for Robertson, first choice, and if he came on for someone who didn't play, I'd have won like 6 points. So.
But the point being, not to bench premium assets, because especially in a game like that, and it's exactly the same thing that happened, we spoke about in the week prior, is that chances are you've got a City attacker and a City defence, and you've got a Liverpool attacker and a Liverpool defence. So if both teams score, your attackers hopefully are in on it.
That's the thing. Hence why I kept Salah on one side and then I kept Alisson in there.
But then to hedge your bets, if neither team scores or one team keeps a clean sheet and scores.
Definitely. But I mean, out of them options, I wasn't going to get rid of Salah over.
True, fair enough. But I'm just saying. Well, if you did put Martinho on the bench and played Robertson,
could have.
Yeah. So
well, again, like I said, Wolves are informed. Martinho's scoring goals as well, or he's providing chances. He's doing well. So it's one of them. I mean, I've not really lost that too much in them points.
Well, you haven't, but a lot of other people did. A lot of other people did.
This is what I said. Sometimes you have to find a differential.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to look at it from a different game point.
True.
So I think for me, it was a more logistic situation rather than a panic mode or anything like that. I thought, you know what, let's kind of consolidate after last week as well. Let's consolidate and see what we can do moving forward.
Right, well, for me then, I've got to reiterate that point. Do not bench your premium assets no matter what the fixture. Yeah, they are your premium assets. They're the best players in the game, the most expensive. Put them on. Yeah.
Only if they're injured and suspended, yeah?
Yeah. Exactly. Even then, when you get those, sometimes you get those yellow flags, a 75% chance of playing.
Yeah, bang them in, but
You've got to
like I said,
gamble
if they don't play, then you can obviously get auto sub points for it.
Quickly on to the next point. Palace are well and truly out of form. So, like you've just said, not scored at home in 5 games now.
Yeah,
I think
it is, yeah.
Their talisman is Zaha. He's the only player that everything goes through. So if he's not firing, Palace are not firing.
Yeah.
And the defence is suffering as a consequence because they're under pressure. So I would go as far as to say, and I'm going to talk about my team later, Wan-Bissaka, time to go. No?
I disagree.
You really?
At that price?
Fair enough, but you've made your money on him.
You have made your money and you probably got your points out of him as well.
Yeah.
However, having said that, we're only into game week 9.
But that leads me on to the next point. Yes, it's a long season, so there's always time to get him back.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Leads me on to my next season. You're saying it's cheap at that price.
Yeah.
But so are 4 of Wolves'
But
defenders.
then, I get that, but then you jump in on the same bandwagon as every other
Well,
person.
no, because you've got 4 players to choose from.
You've got 4 players to choose from.
And the goalkeeper, so 5.
And the problem that's going to be though, what's going to start happening is as soon as people start getting Wolves players,
Yeah.
prices are going to start increasing, and the minute Wolves don't do well defensively, which they are suspect to at times as well, I mean, fair enough, last couple of game weeks they've done really well, you'll be in the same predicament whereas people doubled up on the Palace defence.
Well, yeah, but I'll argue that the Wolves' defence are scoring and assisting.
They are, granted,
Yeah.
I'll give you that in that regards.
So,
But then it's making a way of deciding whether you split up your 3 at the back, your main 3, Mendy,
Well,
Robertson,
this is it.
Alonso.
this is another point we're going to discuss later on. Somebody sent in a question. In fact, shall we just hit it now? Let's just talk about it now, shall we?
Yeah. If you want, yeah.
We've had a message over Twitter from @FPL Hangover. Very active member, very funny guy as well.
Podcasting.
Yeah, he's got his own pod as well, so get over onto that @FPL Hangover, see what he's got to say. But he got in touch with me, he was asking us basically, he said, do you think the template team is changing once again, especially with Arsenal assets now a serious option, as well as the imminent return of KDB, Kevin De Bruyne, amongst other City assets such as Mendy? Can we now survive without Kane, Aguero and or Salah? What are your thoughts on that?
2 out of the 3, I would say, yeah. I would personally say, at this present moment in time, it's Hazard and one of the 3.
Really, including Kane, Hazard and Kane?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, even though Kane hasn't really done much, I'm saying that's the option there. You've got the option because you're looking at it from a point of view. You can Aguero, in my opinion, is probably going to start getting less game time now. Personally, especially if
Do you not
Kane
think? I know
comes
he's
back from that point of view. Jesus was looking sharp when he came on against you guys.
but he
Surprised
doesn't
he
seem
didn't
to
take
trust
the pen.
him. Yeah, he doesn't seem
Yeah.
to trust him.
But then again, he's had limited game time. Jesus.
Yeah.
And also the fact that obviously Salah, you could argue the same thing maybe about Kane. Yes, his stats are showing he's doing something and he's there or thereabouts, but he's still not giving as big a return as what we probably expect for his price. 12.9 even now at the minute. So
12.8.
8 has gone down again.
Yeah.
Alright, so 12.8. So his price is dropping. You can see people getting rid of him as well.
It's down to 33 point something % ownership.
Ownership from 54% at the start. So, you know, there's differences. But I still think they can double up. I don't think you can have Hazard, Kane, Salah, or Hazard, Aguero, Salah. I don't think you can have 3 of them. I think one out of these
I've
3.
got Salah, Aguero. Well, I had Salah, Aguero, and Hazard comfortably.
Yeah. No, you can, but I don't think presently,
worth having.
based
Right,
on
okay.
the current stats and what returns you're getting, you can't
Yeah.
justify having them bigger numbers.
Here's how I see the Aguero situation, because you obviously see it differently to me. he's got a knock. He's been carrying a knock.
Yeah.
Despite which, Pep has been
Pep
starting
him, yeah.
Yeah. He's been managing his game time. Fair enough. 60 minutes, 65 minutes. He's been coming off.
Yeah.
But he still wants him to start and play.
He does. But
And now he's not away on international duty, so he's going to get his rest.
He's still here.
So when he comes back, you don't think he's going to start and play a full game?
I don't think he's going to play a full game, and I think I
Why?
can honestly see Jesus getting ahead, and I can see because at the minute the way I look at it anyway, maybe from a cynical point of view, but I look at it because there's no KDB in the side. Okay, and obviously with the absence of Mendy recently, last few game weeks, he's had to put his trust in a tried and tested option in Aguero.
But
because Aguero for him, he's going to do the best, irrespective of where
he gets the assists Aguero as well.
So,
but why would he take out if KDB comes back in?
Yeah.
Why would he take Aguero out for Jesus?
Because then he's got a different way to play. Because he's going to play with more pace, and he's got the option of Sterling. Because I can see Sterling, Sane, and Jesus, in my opinion, my personal opinion, starting most games for the next few weeks.
We will have to wait and see because they have got a congested fixture list, which we're going to talk about next week. So tune in for that.
For me, that looks more reasonable and how he's going to go as well. And
we'll have to put a pin in that and see where we stand because I personally don't think. I think Aguero gets his rest, is fit after the international break. No reason to take him out. He's been doing the business.
Let's see. Let's see. Well, then again, Pep is Pep and he likes to roll that dice a little bit too much.
So from my point of view, FPL hangover, can we survive without Kane? Definitely. Can we survive without Aguero? I think even we can, despite what I've just said, I think we can if you're looking to cash in and look at other assets. Yeah. Salah, we have to wait and see, don't we? Because the common trend, the theme now is, or the talk of the FPL community on Twitter is Liverpool have the two easy fixtures coming up now.
Huddersfield away and Cardiff at home.
And if Salah
doesn't do anything,
like Kane, fails to, then I think is the ownership is going through the floor. Yeah. Because I will be getting rid of him for
same here, that's what I'm thinking.
KDB. I'll be getting KDB in, possibly Sterling if KDB's doesn't hit the ground running. But yeah, that's the way I'll be going. Salah has the next two games, Huddersfield and Cardiff, and let's see what happens if he can find his form. And the other thing in his favour, which we just spoke about, is earlier, Milner is injured for a month, so somebody else will get penalty duties. Will it be Mane or Salah?
I think it probably will be Salah if I was Klopp, to give him the options and just say, listen mate, there you are, go. So the only problem is if his confidence rock bottom and he misses.
I don't think it is. He's snatching at chances, but I don't think his confidence is there. Not like Morata.
I think the difference between Salah and Morata at the moment, personally, my personal feeling is, and you probably disagree being a Liverpool fan, but I think I can see some sort of discord between the front three, especially between him and Mane. There seems to be some sort of friction where it's a case of I'll shoot rather than pass.
Yeah.
Whereas last year it was more I'll pass at you, it's for the betterment of the team. Now it's just a case of, but maybe again from a selfish point of view, from Salah, he might just be doing it unintentionally, thinking, you know what, I've not scored for a while.
Possibly.
I need to hit the back of the net. If it goes in, it's a boost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
in Mane's case, I personally think, I've not read or heard anything around this, just my own personal theory, that Klopp has actually said to Mane, right, you need to be a bit more selfish, get in on that goal, and let's up your goal tally this year.
Yeah. But whatever it is, it's not. It's definitely not helping Salah.
Going to the first part of his question then, is the template team changing, especially with Arsenal assets now a serious option?
Yeah, but only in midfield.
Yeah.
Personally speaking, only in midfield, because I think the defensive side of it.
Not in defence with what we've just said about Palace and Wolves.
Because most of the template team that most people had was Alonso, Robertson, Mendy, which is what most of the stuff pretty much got, with the exception of maybe.
Well, with Mendy, a lot of people brought in Trippier, cashed in on Trippier.
Yeah, but that's just short term, because I can see people going back. There's already figures floating about that Mendy's ownership rate has gone back up again.
Fair
so
enough,
from the defensive point of view, I'd say that's still the same. There's no changes there. Midfield definitely. People getting rid of Salah. People bringing in the likes of Hazard. You've even now got the likes of Sterling, Fraser. You're getting rid of Richarlison, which was another one. There's a lot of teams out there I've seen with ownership of Sigurdsson.
Yeah,
So that seems to now be a bit of a pattern there.
I half agree with you. It is. I don't think there's never ever FPL hangover. There's never ever a fixed template for
the whole
season,
yeah,
or even a large chunk of the season. It's always in flux. Teams and players coming in and out of form. Yeah. So I say I half agree with you that the midfield's changed, but I think personally, defence is changing as well, with the Wolves players coming in who are actually starting, because what a lot of people were doing with Wan-Bissaka, who was cheap, and Palace were in form, but they were benching him and losing points on the bench. So now the Wolves players are coming in and are actually starting for people.
True, but then in regards with your defence, what my only again being cynical to you would then be is, what would then be the template? Back 4 or back 3 or back 5?
Well, this is it. There doesn't have to be a template, because the other thing about template, what often ends up happening, is this phrase of people chasing last week's points.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and it's happened with wildcards. People have brought in players on a wildcard
based on what they've done.
Based on the people around them and what they've seen and who's doing well instead. And when instead, what you should be doing, the tactic with the wildcard, is looking ahead and looking at fixtures,
looking at plans,
form players, and looking at the next group of fixtures. So templates, I think, and the international breaks, I think, are actually handy. I know everyone hates them, but it's breaking up the season into chunks.
Yeah, and it lets people regroup and reassess and reevaluate what's going
on. Which is exactly what you should be doing. You should be looking ahead at the next group of fixtures. So, like I've said, we're going to discuss that in next week's video. The international breaks is another one at the end of November, and it's breaking the season into chunks of 4 and 5 game weeks. So it's perfect for the beginner to look at the season on a smaller scale instead of thinking about, it's wrong to think of the whole season in one chunk anyway.
Yeah.
But take each section of the season at a time and look at which teams have got the easiest fixtures, which players are in form, and will probably be a good idea to look at that next, and plan your teams and your transfers according to that.
Yeah.
So templates happen. Some people really hate them, are against them, and other people end up going chasing them, and I think it is rather naive, and it's a bit amateur. The amateur players end up chasing these template teams, missing the points when they've already gone.
I think on that one, I don't even think it's the amateur players, to be honest with you. I think
you think so?
There's a lot of FPL managers out there who listen. There's a lot of variety out there. There's a lot of podcasts. There's a lot of vloggers. There's a lot of YouTubers, etc. This, that, the other, and people are very easily convinced. And I personally think that there's a lot of people who jump on the bandwagon without really.
I suppose, and that's what happened with Kane.
You hear the sound bites and you think, I gotta go.
Gotta trust,
making your own decisions.
Because I think that's what happened with the Kane thing. It was a fear of missing out, and in fact, it's what happened with Salah ownership at the start of the season.
At the start.
Just that fear of missing out.
I just think a lot of people also were afraid based on Hazard when he's got his hat-trick, thinking, you know what, we missed out on Hazard there, so trying to recruit points via Kane, and it's not really paid off. But the template team is changing, but in my opinion, it's changing in parts. I wouldn't say it's changing across all formats.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm going to say is that the template is always changing. Yeah. So the template is only ever going to be short term. Yeah. So we've seen, like, with the first 4 weeks, everyone got excited and got Alonso Robert-Mendy in, and some people missed the boat on it. And now the next template was to have Hazard in, and some people have missed that as well. So you might call it's not a template based on one player, but you know what I'm saying there, are the premium options. So templates are going to be there, but they're going to be short-lived, and they're constantly going to be changing. They're always going to be in flux. Definitely. So be aware of that.
Yes.
Just a quick note then, while we're on that international break, we've got a list of players here. Riz, I'll give the City ones if you want to give the Arsenal ones. These are players who are not away on international duty. So keep an ear out and an eye out for these players for your teams, especially if you're thinking of wildcarding over or during the international break, like I have been. I'll hint that. I'll tell you about that.
Hint.
But basically, these players are going to be fit and raring to go, hopefully. So from City, Aguero, Mendy, Laporte, Delph, Gundogan, Silva. I'm guessing that's David Silva, who's retired. Yes.
Yep.
Fernandinho and obviously Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah, so it says Delph and Gundogan are both injured and expected to return after the international break. So City, essentially, that's quite a large chunk of their squad.
It's a good.
Looks like it's just their defenders, really.
Well, you know what? Said that defenders.
Sterling and Sane and.
Yeah, well, one of the key defenders that have now gone, and I think Laporte is going to be an ideal.
Mendy, yeah.
Touch up on that later on.
So keep an eye. I mean, out of those, Aguero obviously stands out. Mendy stands out. Laporte is a cheap, and he's been a starter in every game, hasn't he?
Consistent, yeah, absolutely. So do that. But moving on to Arsenal very quickly. Mesut Ozil, obviously with his falling out with the German national team. Alexander Lacazette, I don't know what he has to do to get into that French side to be part of it.
Who's in ahead of him?
They've got loads, and they've got Giroud, they've got Mbappe, they've got Griezmann. You know,
I suppose
who do you go for?
Yeah,
so
that's true.
it's there. Bellerin, Mustafi, Monreal, and Holding.
Rob Holding, yeah. So maybe not as extensive as City's squad, but still some good options there.
3 options, definitely. I mean, the name that sticks out is Lacazette.
Lacazette, yes.
Sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
And again, we were talking about changes and a lot of people making changes. What you'll probably see, he's probably one of them who's going to start coming into a lot of people's phone.